Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, welcome to my channel. If you are returning, welcome back. Yay! Love to see ya. Okay, so before I get into it, I am not a mental health professional. I'm just like a 20-year veteran of the mental health system. And a very triggering, traumatic time in my life was during when they tried to get me to do DBT back in 2010, and they diagnosed me with a borderline personality disorder. Now, I'm reflecting on this from a place of wellness. I, in fact, have bipolar 1, but I've got the psychotic feature, so I'm actually dealing with something. It's amazing to me because a lot of the psychotic symptoms that I'm being treated for now correctly, their personality disordering people with that stuff. And I'm just here to challenge it. I'm here to ramble while I put on eyeshadow. And I'm always interested to hear feedback. So, okay, well, we'll get right into it then. I took a borderline personality disorder survey. I took a test. I took just a plain old little test. And I actually found out that there is no test for borderline personality disorder. There's just an assessment. So I just did this quick little thing, trying to decide, do I want to be neutral today, or I want to be bold? I'm going to be colorful today. I'm going to wear this neon palette. Okay. So I'll just start. I'm just going to start rambling, y'all. Okay. The first thing they ask about is feelings of emptiness. I've talked about this on here many times. I often, when I'm depressed, my depression's I think bipolar depression is different than depression. It's really severe. It can cause you to feel empty. And what I mean by that is when I'm psychotic, I see things. I see the physical hell. And this time, back in March, I felt it. I didn't see it. I felt it. And God seemed unreachable. Just within reach. And it seemed cut off. And it was so scary. That's like a psychotic symptom, okay? That's hospital shit right there. But no, they want you to sit in this DBT program for 8 weeks. Whew, girl, but I survived. Anyway, okay. So the next thing I noticed was stress-induced paranoia, spacing out, disassociating. Okay, those are all symptoms of psychosis, guys. That's paranoia is actually an ongoing problem in my life. And they drug the shit out of me because I'm paranoid as hell. Typically, yeah, I'm paranoid about an array of things. So, yeah, that's another reason to be in the hospital, guys. Not sit for 8 weeks in a DBT program. Let's see what else. Changing values and goals and career focus. No, to be fair, guys, during this past election, I flip-flopped between Kamala and Donald Trump. I eventually voted for Trump. But as you can see, throughout my videos, I consistently bashed Donald Trump. And then I turned around and voted for him. I don't think I was alone in that. I think a lot of people did that. So, people change their minds, and that's okay. It doesn't mean that you have a personality disorder. It just means you changed your mind. Okay, so I want to talk about rage. they talk about borderline personality disorder people having rage. I actually, rage is the end result of my manic episodes, and historically speaking, I end up in the hospital a day later. That's like where I crack. And I actually had rage recently, but I got through it. I got through it that time. I don't think it was like as severe. I was by myself and I had therapy, so it kind of like diffused itself. But it's not always like that. But I'm telling you, it's a medical emergency. It's not your personality being disordered. Okay, so okay, let's talk about abandonment. Now, I could see where if you're constantly jabbing at your significant other about them leaving, that could be rather toxic and annoying. Especially if it's imagined. So, but sometimes, like, when people are in abusive relationships, the abused person develops, like, some kind of attachment to that person, and they do fear abandonment. So I think that, in my opinion, that can be debunked. It's just another thing that can be debunked. I don't know. Okay, and then there was another thing. Oh, yeah. Okay, so the abandonment thing. Historically speaking, I'm typically the one to end relationships. Now, they use that against me. They said that's because I feared abandonment. No. It's because the relationships were unhealthy. You know, it's just like another thing that got wrong. I don't know. Yeah, my romantic relationships were unstable because I was with, like, a not good dude. I almost didn't go out with my husband at first because I was so getting over this, like, abusive relationship I'd been in. But my hubs is normal. He's a good guy. Yeah, my husband's, like, completely normal. He's this, like, really big, huge, hairy guy. And he's a pastor's kid. He just kind of goes to work, comes home, plays with the kids, and yeah, he's just like a normal. I am a very blessed woman. Okay, so, black and white thinking, but I think, like, by today's standards, that's pretty normal. Especially, like, in politics. Like, not so much this campaign cycle, but the first one that Trump ran in, there was a lot of black and white thinking. People were either good or they were evil. And the system even encouraged society to do that. So, I don't know if I really buy into that black and white thinking thing. I'm not saying it's healthy, but don't accuse somebody of having it when it's the norm. You know what I mean? Like, okay, here's another thing that stuck out to me about the assessment, though. Interviews with friends and family. Now, what if your friends and family were the toxic people in your life, and maybe the system, in my case, if the system had, like, encouraged me a little bit, it's like that when you have a borderline personality disorder, they assume you're the bad one. They assume you are the problem. So if they interview friends and family, but they happen to be the toxic people in your life, I don't see how that could be helpful to the sufferer. That could even be torturous. Just saying. Let's see. Lacking identity or self-image, girl. I hate this one. Okay. I've always been different. People have always called me different. Okay. And I think in mental health, I've had certain, therapists not understand who I am. And I'm punished for it. They don't accept my individuality and sort of, like, bully me about it in a way. Not all therapists have done that. So, like, I had this drug counselor back in 2008. who said, I said all I wanted was like a husband and a family and somebody to understand me. And he was like, well, I don't think anybody's ever going to understand you. So, yeah, that was mean. See, my husband gets me. And like I said, dude, my husband's like a completely normal guy. And he gets me. It's not that hard. Okay. Irritability, anxiety, and depression. Those are bipolar symptoms. My irritability gets so severe that they in fact have me on 2 mood stabilizers. And it's not in here. I'm not mad at anybody. It's in my body. And I think that's what people don't always realize. The system gets that wrong sometimes, is that we're not necessarily mad at anything. It's just our bodies are malfunctioning. That's, like I said, that's more of like a medical emergency. That's not a personality disorder. I mean, I do think there are irritable people, but this is like an irritability that's like crippling. And they freaking drug, okay. We can get into like societal expectations. People with borderline personality disorder can be very reactive to social norms if they are different, and that sounds a lot like me. I don't necessarily, at least now in my 40s, my maturity years, I don't feel reactive to social norms. It's like, what the fuck are they talking about? Like, I think that comes with like the career goal thing where it's like, it's just dumb. Feelings of unreality. That's psychosis. That is a medical emergency. That's not your personality being disordered, in my opinion. So why do I have to educate the experts on how much they get things wrong? If they would actually, like, ask us how we feel and validate us. And validation's a huge part of a borderline personality disorder, but the system, you get therapists that will invalidate you. And so I call bullshit, man. I call bullshit. Let's see. Oh, and then one thing I want to add is, okay, Marsha Linehan got this idea for radical acceptance and like DBT while she was meditating in a Buddhist temple or whatever, monastery, a Buddhist monastery. She was meditating, and she came up with the idea. She said, this is what my patients need. Yeah, we don't all need it, girl. And Dr. Phil, he considers BPD a toxic personality. So right there, as soon as you get labeled with that, they think you're bad. Oh, and one more thing. So apparently people with borderline personality disorder can experience voices telling them that they're bad. Yeah, I've totally been there. Medical emergency, not a personality disorder. Okay, guys, well, I'll see you, maybe I'll see you tomorrow, and I'll definitely see you Monday. Bye.